Right now, a look at our business stories, and a new report suggests Vancouver's retail market is much more resilient than many had anticipated. Tyler Orton with business in Vancouver. Tyler, I'm still stuck on that $70 a barrel for oil. Maybe you can shed some light on that in a second. But tell us a little bit more about this report and what it says about leases and rental rates in Vancouver.
Well, very fascinating stuff from JLL. According to this new report, it shows that the amount of leased space in the first quarter of the year is more than 10% higher than the same period 1 year ago. Rents are also increasing 5% year over year, and it really seems to come down to location. Retailers are exiting enclosed malls and instead seeking storefront spaces, on the streets so that they can tap into pedestrian traffic. Meanwhile, there never really was that much of a hard lockdown here in British Columbia when it came to the retail sector. So it really did help keep the lights on for many of these businesses. And I want to emphasize this. It's not to say that businesses haven't been hurting over the last year or that sales haven't fallen, only that demand for real estate space has really remained high in Vancouver throughout all of this, much higher than ever expected at the outset of the pandemic.
All right. And while some retailers are hanging on or maybe even thriving, others are having to close their doors.
Yeah, well, we just finding out that Vancouver-based men's fashion chain company Boys Co. It's closing all of its operations across the Lower Mainland early next year. Owner David Goldman says he was contemplating shuttering the business even prior to 2020, but the pandemic only accelerated that decision. The fashion chain had 6 stores across the region at its height back in the 1990s, but it's since shrunk down to about 3 stores, and one additional store might actually even close before this year's holiday shopping season. But they do want to keep the stores open until they get over the Christmas hump, get sales in while they can, keep the lights on, and keep workers employed until then. Instead, the family business will be turning its attention to its other company, which focuses on real estate. And Boys Co. might actually sell off some of its brands to another company. But the closure of these stores really does mark the end of an era for such an iconic brand after operating for 37 years here in British Columbia.
End of an era there for sure. Tyler Orton with business in Vancouver joining us today. Thank you so much, Tyler.
Thank you, Sonia.